Today I want to talk to us about a fresh start. Has anyone ever needed a fresh start? It's something in life. I believe we all here can say that we needed a fresh start at one point in our lives or another. Maybe even today, we may be at that point where we need a fresh start with God. It feels so good when we're given a second chance. Would you agree? Anybody ever been given a second chance? And it just feels so good when you get that opportunity to start fresh and to start again. Feels so good when you get that second chance to make it count. No matter what happens, no matter what you did, no matter what circumstance that led you to the point of needing a fresh start, all that gets pushed behind you. And you get to look forward and say, how can I now make this count? And that's what's so awesome about our God that we serve. The Apostle Paul writes in Philippians, chapter 1 through 6, he says this to the Philippian church. He says, being confident of this, that he, speaking of God, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. You see, progress is something that is often dimmed by the distance or the process to get to the finish line. When we consider God and all that he has done for us, all that he has done for you and me, we must understand that he doesn't expect us to be perfect. He doesn't expect us to have everything all in order. He doesn't expect us to have all things together. But yet, you and I often weigh ourselves down with expectations and place things in front of us so we can see the visible actions that show our progress. But when we do that, we can overburden ourselves. Has anybody ever put expectations on yourself where they just felt like after a while it just got very complicated, very hard to achieve, and maybe even you got discouraged? This oftentimes gets us overwhelmed, and it allows us to lose focus on the journey ahead. We somehow find a way to get our ideas of comparison. Have you ever compared yourself to somebody else? Have you ever measured someone else's progress and then said, I should be like them? We get caught up and we find ourselves comparing and measuring other people and their progress, and we get that mixed up with our lives, with your life. You see, Ephesians 2:10 affirms me and tells me and lets me know that I am God's workmanship. I was created in Christ Jesus for good works, which he prepared beforehand. He already prepared everything I'm going to do. He already laid out the measuring stick. And all we have to do, all I have to do is walk in that path towards him. Sometimes we forget the only one that we should be concerned about measuring up to is God. Sometimes you and I want to measure up to someone else. Sometimes you and I want to place our own expectations on ourselves, when really all we have to do is measure up to what God has set in place for us. He ordained our paths, and all we have to do, have you ever used a GPS in these days? Probably every day, right? All we have to do is connect our GPS and set it up to God's destination, and the path will be written out. But what happens? Have any of you been like me where I try to outdo GPS? Anybody try to come up with your own your own plan of travel, thinking you can outdo it, and before long, where do you find yourself? Zigzagging, taking street all over the place, trying to get to the destination. And when you look back, you're going, man, how did I get here and why did I do that? The path was already made out for me and mapped out for me, but I chose to try to outsmart that, or I chose to do it my way. I chose to take the path that I feel is best for me to get there. Have any of you ever done that? And sometimes that happens with God. Sometimes you and I have a way of, God tells us, here's the way to go. I already prepared everything beforehand for you. You are my workmanship. I created you. I got you. I got you covered. Just walk. Just begin to follow the pattern and the path that I laid out for you. But instead, we want to go different directions. Is that true for you as it is for me? Instead, we want to go down paths that lead to the right and lead to the left, and they may take us about 10 miles off course. But yet when we started, we thought they were going to be even faster. We wanted to take the shortcut. We thought we were going to be able to get there our way. And you know what happens? Sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes we cannot help but get in our own way. Have you ever tried, or have you ever looked back over your life? And some of us will see a long, windy path that is a trench or a ditch in the ground, a path that God laid out for us, which should only be our footprints, but instead it's a big old trench all the way behind us because we chose to go this way and we chose to take a path off the course. When we look back, it should just be the dust that settles on the path, but instead we're dragging ourselves along and we're carrying ourselves and we put too much expectation and we have so much that we want to do. We know what we need to change. Have you ever said that to yourself? I know what I need to do. We know the certain things, and we know what we set out and the goals. Have any of you ever set out for goals? Have any of you ever pushed and you were striving hard to reach that accomplishment? And you end up at a place where you're tired, where you're frustrated, where you can't even see the end. We do not see how we will ever meet the expectations for a better life. And we find ourselves desperate or getting desperate for a fresh start with God, hungry to make a change, in need of God for a fresh start. Because when I look back over my life, what should have been just a little bit of footprints is a whole lot of hills and mountains now that I created. And we need a fresh start. If you find yourself in that situation today, I want to encourage you not to give up today. I want to encourage you to hang in there. I want to let you know that God is with you. I want to let you know that whoever the Son sets free is free indeed. If we can just get outside of our own way sometimes, I want to let you know that today you can begin, you can have a fresh start. You and me can start fresh again today. Jesus promised us that he would not leave us or forsake us. He said, though I leave you, I'm going to go and prepare a place for you. And then he went on and he climbed that hill to the mountain of Golgotha and he hung on a cross and he died for you and me. And then that wasn't it. He conquered death and the grave. And that gave us an opportunity for a second chance. I don't know if you understand what he did for us, how he paid the ultimate price. You see, Jesus already went before us on this journey. Jesus went before us. He doesn't ask you to do anything that he would not do. The single act of the cross completely wrecked the plans of destruction for your life and for my life. That cross and that grave, that is what gives us hope today that we can have a better life. If it had not been for his love, if it had not been for the cross, if it had not been for the grave, where would you and I be? He conquered death and hell. And you know what else? He didn't ask us to go on this journey all by ourselves. He said in Matthew, speaking to his disciples, Matthew 16:24, he said, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Whoever gives up his own way of thinking, whoever gives up his own patterns on this journey, whoever gets out of their own way will find life. That's what he says. And even though he has already gone before us, and he gave us the prescription for life, a life of faith as a Christian, we see him on this journey. And we see him saying, come on. Come on, son. Come on, daughter. I got you. Keep coming this way. Keep coming this way. You're doing well. You're doing real good. Yes, we have to do our part. Yes, we have to trust him. We have to believe. And we have to do these things. And we have to discipline ourselves to keep the faith. Yes, we do. We have to do all that. But you know what else I want to share with you today? We have to allow God to work in our lives as well. We have to allow him to work it out. But sometimes we get impatient. And when he's saying, come on, son, you're saying, I want to come. I'm coming, but it doesn't look that good yet. It looks a little too far. And he's saying, come on, daughter, just keep coming. All I said is just follow me. Just keep coming. You're doing well. Here's the path. I'm ahead of you. I'm not asking you to do nothing I wouldn't do. Just keep coming. And we're saying, but I want to go this way because I think this is the right place for me today, God. And we find ourselves frustrated. Or because some of us are afraid of failing. Some of us get afraid of making big mistakes with God and falling short, and will hesitate to even take a step forward. And we hold on until we get the perfect situation, until we have the perfect package together that we can present to God, the perfect little life. And then we'll get started. And we wind up never even really getting going. Or we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps backwards. All God did was ask us to deny ourselves, to pick up our cross, and to follow him. So we have to allow God to work in our lives. Does any of you here struggle with allowing God to work in our lives? Does any of you struggle with allowing God to have his way? Are you like me, where sometimes it isn't easy to allow his will to manifest itself in our lives, in my life. So it's not that easy. It's uncomfortable. And it makes no sense to your neighbor who is an unbeliever. It makes absolutely no sense to your family member who doesn't believe in God, who doesn't serve God. It makes absolutely no sense for the direction you're going by faith and trying to trust God and trying to follow his path. It makes absolutely no sense to those that are around you. We are the ones at times that try to make it all happen in our lives. I have been guilty of trying to be the one that makes it happen, that tries to, I got this, instead of, God, you got this. Work it out in my life. Allow me the grace, God, to let it happen. Allow me the grace, the patience to understand, to know that at the end of the day, no matter what, you promised me, God, that you would be with me till the very end. He promised me. But even I struggle with allowing him to have his way in my life. And even I forget that he just said, follow me. If you want to be my disciple, then follow me. But today, I want to tell you that I am confident of this, as the Apostle Paul wrote. I am confident of this, that he who begun a good work in you, who begun a good work in me, will carry it out until completion, until the end of time. I am confident of that today. So we have God on one end. We have God over here. He says, son, daughter. He tells them, tells us, son, daughter. You want to be my disciple? Deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. That's all he does. And he's at the end. He's at the end of the path. And he's working things out in our lives. And he says, take a step, son. Oh, you're doing good. You're doing good. Take another step. Oh, you're doing good. And right here, we're doing real good. Right here, we're doing real good. But then, at this time, we see him at the other end. But then at times, we know the path is straight ahead. But then, we want to wait till we have things in order, or we want to wait till it looks like the way I want it to be, or I don't know if I can be patient, God, and wait for you. So I'm going to disregard the GPS, and I'm going to take a step to the right. And then I'm going to take a step forward. And then, you know what? God, I'm going to take a step to the left now. And then, you know what? And God's sitting there saying, follow me. Where are you going? What you doing? Why are you getting off path? What you trying to do? And then you find yourself taking a step backwards. And then we're saying, God, I don't know how to be patient. And then we're in this place and we're frustrated or we're sad. I don't know if you've been like me, but I've been in this place where I've cried and I said, I don't really understand, God, and it's hard for me. I know you promised me and I'm waiting as patiently, but I need to get it done. And then I take a step back over here and I find myself frustrated and I say, here I am. I've been doing all that I thought I needed to do. I thought this is the way you wanted me to go. And then I'm going forward and I'm saying, but God, What do you mean this isn't the right thing for me? What do you mean? Why are you closing these doors for me? I thought this is what you wanted for me. I thought this is how I wanted it to be, God. But then I find myself in need saying, where am I? How did I even get to this place? How did I get off path? And then I got to come over here. And then I find myself in that place. And I find myself in that place. And I don't know if you have been in these situations. I don't know if it's spiritually. Maybe your relationship with God. Maybe it's financially. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your ministry. Maybe it's just your walk with God. And you used to be real close, and you used to have your devotional, and you used to pray, and you did answer when he said, follow me. But today, I want to encourage us, if we can just get back on course, if we can just get back in the place, because all God's saying is, all you got to do is follow me. God wants to give us a fresh start today. We don't have to go off course no more. And if you did, I want to let you know, today, you can get right back on course. And Jesus is on the other side saying, come on, son. Come on, daughter. You can do this. This is the way we want to go. We can do this. This is my plan for you. This is my plan for you. And that's what God does. That's all God wants. That's what he wants. Because it's in these steps where I lack trust. We end up dragging ourselves. And let me show you what the ground looks like behind us when we're all done, or when we give up too soon. There's trenches that build trenches around us. And this is sometimes when I look over my shoulder, I found myself looking back going, it was only supposed to be a walking path, but instead, I've dug myself trenches. I've dug trenches. God said, follow me, the path. Just follow me. I've already laid out the path. But instead, when we zigzag all over the path, when we go to the left, when we go to the right, when we do things, when we lack the trust in him, when we lack our faith in him, we build walls and mountains of dirt on each side of us till ultimately we can't even see where the path is. We can't even see the direction we're headed. Has anybody, or is it just me, has anybody in his place been in a situation where you dug yourself some trenches, where you dug yourself some holes in your life, where you did some things where you knew you altered the course, and you and I know today, I'll tell you how I know the secret, because I've done it. You and I today know exactly when God is telling us to do something and when we are telling ourselves to do something. You and I know this today, but yet we have a hard time depending on God. Oh, he said, I go back to this. Deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. That's all he said. He said, follow me. He said, don't follow your own understanding. Don't follow your own ways. Don't get too impatient. I got you. Don't take that step to the left. Patrick, why? I told you. I got you. But instead, you want to do it your way. And look at what happens to your son. Look at what happens to your son. Turn around. and we turn around and we see these ditches behind us. You know what some of my ditches have been? Lack of trust, battling with pride, and trying to make things happen all by myself. Because I work hard, and because I've seen myself before God achieve and accomplish things and do things with my hands. And I was so bad and prideful because I did things at an early age that it took many to do. It took many years for people to do. A person without no direction, a broken family, but yet accomplishing things. And I struggle today with that issue of me trying to get in my own way and make things happen when I don't have patience for God, or when I'm uncertain about the future ahead of me. Are any of you like me where you have to know exactly what's going to happen at this point and at this point and at this point, and you probably drive people crazy? And if you're married to someone like me, drive them real crazy. Because they just want to live life. And I just want to get in my own way. And I just want to do it my way because I want to see what it looks like. And God is at the other end of the road saying, don't worry about what it's going to look like. All you have to do is follow me. So what are some of the trenches in your life today? What are some of the trenches in your life today? Think about that. What are the things that keep you from getting out of the trenches? What are some of those situations? Is it fear? Is it fear? Fear of failing? Because maybe somebody didn't believe in you, and now that sticks with you when you come to God. And we have the best advocate in the world on our side, but yet we get hung up because what somebody said to us. And we're afraid because they said, you'll never make it. And now we come to God and we're afraid to follow the course because we're afraid we're going to fail him. And that's okay. But I want to tell you today that you don't have to be afraid. If you need him to, he'll even carry you when you fall. And he'll pick you up. And he'll set your feet on solid ground again. That's his word, that's his promise. And he's done it for me. And I know he can do it for you. Is it anxiety? Pressure? The pressure of being perfect? The pressure of needing to know everything? The pressure of meeting expectations? And you started out with God just a few months ago maybe, or maybe several years ago. And you're afraid. And you got pressure on your life because you have expectations. And because, like I said in the beginning, you're measuring yourself to somebody else. And all you have to do is measure yourself to God. That's all you have to do. Or could it be that your trench is desiring your own pleasures of sin, knowing that it's wrong, but you still keep doing it, knowing that he's made a better way for you, but because it's not your way, because it doesn't feel good, because it doesn't take away the pain, because it doesn't numb me like it used to, because it doesn't feel good, because I can't just isolate myself and hide away anymore. And we possibly forfeit our soul. Is it self-dependency? Self-dependency. The toughest thing. This Christian walk is all about faith. And that means we got to walk by faith, not by sight. And sometimes that becomes a trench in our lives. Because we don't allow God to work in us. We don't allow God to work it out in us. He who has begun a good work, I'm confident that he's going to finish. I may be new to this. So how do you take up your cross? Trust. You trust him. You take steps in a straight path. And don't be too hard on yourself. We deny our past. Deny your failures. Deny your shortcomings. Deny the things that try to get in your way from God and his provision for your life. He's working it out. He's working it. He already worked it out. Allow him to manifest that plan in your life. You may be here saying, yeah, but I seem to have lost my way. And if you're here today and you find yourself with trenches staggering all over the path, I want to tell you today that God is still here. He's still at the end of the path. And if you need him, he'll come up and he'll get you. He'll come up and he'll grab you. And he'll bring you the rest of the way. Because I'll tell you what, just because you're here today is an indication that he's still with you. That he's still with you even till now. Even though I've zigzagged all over the place, God, even though I've went this way, God, and I went this way, God, you're still with me. Even though I got stuck, and I got stuck in this hole of depression, and I got stuck down here. Depressed and lonely. And I couldn't see you no more, God, because the dirt on every side, as I was getting deeper and deeper and lonelier. And my relationships weren't getting better. And things weren't working out. You're still here with me today. Thank you. I want want to tell you that if you're still here today, you're still standing, you're still able. And if you're willing, God is here today. And God wants to give you and I a fresh start. So I'm going to ask you if you would be so kind to stand. I believe God is going to do something great in this place today. I don't know if it's for many, but I do know it's for one. I want to tell you again, God will be with you all the way to the end. He'll be with you all the way to the end if you're considering taking a step towards God. If you've left Him and you've come off course, He's here today. There's still time. There's still a chance. He's the God of second and third and fourth and fifth. He's the God of second chances. And if you feel like you just can't catch a break, mountains after mountains, and you just can't catch a break, God is here today. Don't look anywhere else. Nothing. I've been out there. I know that nothing out there, nothing in this life, the easy way, the shortcut, nothing compares to the love of God. Nothing compares to the love of God. Nothing compares to this journey of the cross. Though it gets hard, yes. Though it gets heavy, yes. Deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow Him. You know why? Because I am confident, as the Apostle Paul wrote to the Philippians, because I have seen God work in my life, I can say, like the Apostle Paul, I am confident that He who began a good work in you and in me, He will carry it out. He will carry it out. This altar is open, and if you're in need of a fresh start, God is here today. If you need God, if you're afraid, if you've been in a place where you're not sure if you want to take a step, all you have to do is take a step forward. If you're off on the wide side of the road, all you have to do is come back in. I want to encourage you. This altar is open for you, and God is here today. If you just want to come and feel the refreshing love of God, you can do that too. If you just want to come and thank Him and be reassured because of His love for you, because He's gotten you this far, this place is for you.